Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today's arraignment is a bold display of how bad choices can snowball into a legal avalanche. With 21 charges, including identity theft and welfare fraud, along with the habitual offender tag turning up the heat, this defendant is a word I can't say. It starts with F and ends in D, as in dun dun dun. What started as a small-time scam now has life sentences looming over her head. Let's watch as the court navigates this tangled web of crimes and consequences.
On the record in State of Michigan versus Christina Marie Jan, 2402241FY.
Assistant Public Defender Joseph Hardy on behalf of Ms. Jan.
And are you Christina Jan appearing by video?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Jan, this is your arraignment. What I have here is a felony complaint. This alleges that, let's see here, on or about between the dates August of 2017 and January of 2023, within the city of Lansing, state of Michigan, and count one is false pretenses, 1,000 or more, but less than 20,000, that you did with intent to defraud or cheat, make or use false pretenses to obtain from any person money, personal property, or use of an instrument, facility, article, or other valuable thing or service having a value of 1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. This is a felony punishable by 5 years and or $10,000 or 3 times the value of the money or property involved, whichever is greater. Count 2, you did with intent to defraud or cheat, make or use a false pretense to obtain from a person money, personal property, or the use of an instrument, facility, article, or other valuable thing or service having a value of $1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. Felony 5 years and or $10,000 or 3 times the value of the money or property involved, whichever is greater. Count 3, that you did with the intent to defraud or cheat, make or use false pretense to obtain from a person money, personal property, or the use of an instrument, facility, article, or other valuable thing or service having a value of 1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. Felony 5 years and or $10,000 or 3 times the value of the money or property involved, whichever is greater. Count 4, you did with the intent to defraud or cheat, make or use a false pretense to obtain from a person money, personal property, or the use of an instrument, facility, article, or other valuable thing or service having a value of $1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. Felony 5 years and or $10,000 or 3 times the value of the money or property involved, whichever is greater. Count 5, that you did with the intent to defraud or cheat, make or use a false pretense to obtain from a person money, personal property, or the use of an instrument, facility, article, or other valuable thing or service having a value of $1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. Felony 5 years and or $10,000 or 3 times the value of the money or property involved, whichever is greater. Count 6, that you did with intent to defraud or violate the law, use or attempt to use the personal identifying information of Karen Duffy to obtain a bridge card. Felony 5 years and or $25,000. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other conviction related to identity theft. Count 7, you did with intent to defraud or violate the law, use or attempt to use the personal identifying information of Rebecca Stefano to obtain a bridge card. Felony 5 years and or $25,000. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other conviction related to identity theft. Count 8, you did with the intent to defraud or violate the law, use or attempt to use the personal identifying information of Brittany Mabels to obtain a bridge card. Felony 5 years and or $25,000. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other conviction related to identity theft. Count 9, that you did with intent to defraud or violate the law, use or attempt to use the personal identifying information of Portia Walker to obtain a bridge card. Felony 5 years and or $25,000. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other conviction related to identity theft. Count 10, that you did with intent to defraud or violate the law, use or attempt to use personal identifying information of Jessica Montelagre to obtain a bridge card. Felony 5 years and or $25,000. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other conviction related to identity theft. Count 11, you did by means of willful false statement or representation, by impersonation or other fraudulent device, or by using an access device to obtain assistance or relief to which you are not entitled. The assistance or relief involved in having a value of over $500. This is known as welfare fraud. 4 years and or $5,000 in penalties. Count 12, that you did by means of willful false statement or representation, by impersonation or other fraudulent device, or by using an access device to obtain assistance or relief to which you were not entitled. The assistance or relief involved having a monetary value of over $500, felony 4 years and or $5,000. Count 13, that you did by willful false statement or representation, by impersonation or other fraudulent device, or by using an access device to obtain assistance or relief to which you are not entitled. The assistance or relief involved having a value of over $500, felony 4 years and or $5,000. Count 14, that you did by means of willful false statement or representation, by impersonation or other fraudulent device, or by using an access device to obtain assistance or relief by which you are not entitled. The assistance or relief involved having a value of $500 or more, of over $500, felony 4 years and or $5,000. Count 15, that you did by means of willful false statement or representation, by impersonation or other fraudulent device, or by using an access device to obtain assistance or relief to which you were not entitled. The assistance or relief involved having a value of over $500, felony 4 years and or $5,000. Count 16, that you did by means of willful false statement or representation, by impersonation or other fraudulent device, or by using an access device to obtain assistance or relief to which you were not entitled. The assistance or relief involved having a value of over $500, felony 4 years and or $5,000. Count 17, that you did by means of willful false statement or representation, by impersonation or other fraudulent device, or by using an access device to obtain assistance or relief to which you were not entitled. The assistance or relief involved having a value of over $500, felony 4 years and or $5,000. Count 18, to use a computer program, computer system, or computer network to commit, attempt to commit, conspire to commit, or solicit another to commit false pretenses of 1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. It's a felony punishable by 7 years in prison and or $5,000. Must reimburse the government for expenses incurred in relation to the violation. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for the underlying conviction. Count 19, that you did use a computer program, computer system, or computer network to commit, attempt to commit, conspire to commit, or solicit another to commit false pretenses, $1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. Felony 7 years and or $5,000. Reimburse the government for expenses incurred in relation to the violation. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for the underlying conviction. Count 20, that you did use a computer program, computer system, or computer network to commit, attempt to commit, conspire to commit, or solicit another to commit false pretenses, $1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. Felony 7 years and or $5,000. Reimburse the government for expenses incurred in relation to the violation. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for the underlying conviction. Count 21, that you did possess a firearm when ineligible to do so because you've been convicted of uttering and publishing a felony punishable by imprisonment of 4 years or more, and the requirements for gaining eligibility have not met. Felony 5 years and or $5,000 with mandatory forfeiture of the weapon or device. I also have a habitual offender fourth offense notice. Take notice, defendant was previously convicted of 3 or more felonies or attempts to commit felonies. In the on or about August 13, 2003, she was convicted of the offense of uttering and publishing in the 39th Circuit Court for Lenawee County. On or about October 14, 2022, she was convicted of the offense of identity theft in the 3rd Circuit Court for Wayne County. And on or about October 14, 2022, she was convicted of another offense of identity theft in the 3rd Circuit Court for Wayne County. Therefore, defendant is subject to the enhanced penalties: life if the primary offense has a penalty of 5 years or more, 15 years or less if the primary offense has a penalty under 5 years. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for a first conviction. So what you have here is 5 counts of false pretenses, 1,000 to 20,000, with a penalty that originally was 5 years. So it appears they became life offenses. You have 5 counts of identity theft, which also would ordinarily have a penalty of 5 years, but with the habitual offender, they became life offenses. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 counts of welfare fraud with the original penalty that was 4 years, so they become 15-year maximum offenses. You have 3 counts of using a computer to commit a crime that were 7-year felonies that now become life offenses. And then you have 1 count of a felon in possession of a firearm, which was a 5-year maximum penalty, which now becomes a life offense. Do you understand the charges and the possible penalties?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to have an attorney in this matter. If you can't afford one, we'll see if the public defender will represent you. You have the right to have a trial that could be by jury. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing will be used against you in court. You have the right to have an attorney present with you during any questioning by law enforcement. Do you understand your rights so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you requesting a public defender to assist you in this matter?
Yes.
Okay. Now, since you have felony charges, you do have the right to have a preliminary examination. That's a hearing where the government must bring some evidence to demonstrate probable cause to believe the felonies occurred and probable cause to believe that you committed the felonies. Before we go to preliminary exam, you'll have a probable cause conference, a day where you, your lawyer, and the prosecutor make sure you have all the evidence and information you need to be ready for preliminary exam. Probable cause conference is scheduled for January 17 at 9 a.m. with Judge Simmons. Preliminary exam is scheduled for January 24 at 9 a.m. also with Judge Simmons. That first court date might be able to be done by video conferencing like we're doing now. But if you can't use your device, you don't know how to video conference, you don't want a video conference, you shall come in person, you shall not miss your court date. And then the second date, the January 24th, is definitely in person because that's the day where evidence and testimony may be presented. Are you on probation or parole or bond in any court?
Oh,
No. The address they gave me on Polk Street, is that still your address?
yes.
Okay. What's a good phone number to reach you?
734-691-7279.
Okay. Thank you. Just gonna check and see if there's anything from the Attorney General in the file about bond. I think there would be sometimes. I have a certified criminal history here. Let's see. Says 20th District Court, 2004. It says ordinance violation, pled guilty, and then it says domestic violence. I didn't know domestic violence was an ordinance violation, but apparently there it is. In 2004, it says ordinance violation, assault and battery, pled guilty.
When was that? In 04?
2004. Yeah.
In what
Yeah.
court?
20th District Court. So Dearborn
Where's
Heights area.
Are you
Say
sure that's 04 you said?
Yeah, 04, 20 years ago.
Oh, I thought you said 2024. Okay.
No, 20 years ago. Okay, 2003, we've got the uttering and publishing thing. We also have a felony driver's license, forging with intent to commit a crime of 10 years or more. Oh no, that got dismissed. Driving suspended in 2004. 2005, domestic. Then it skips to 2014, nothing. 2013, driving suspended. That skips to 2023 with dismissed. Looks like that's when you got the identity theft things in 2023, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts, and also a controlled substance offense. And then that's pretty much it. So I think you get most of it, Mr. Hardy, from her habitual there.
Yeah, thank you.
On bond for Miss Jan.
Thank you, Your Honor. So while we do acknowledge the seriousness of the allegations, I would say that regarding her past criminal record, I would say most of it is nonviolent, outside of the offenses listed, which appear to be around over 20 years old. She has represented to me that she has not had a history of failing to appear. Um, so, and also the nature of the offenses now are nonviolent as well as just like her previous criminal history. So I would say that she's not a violent or assaultive person and is not someone that poses a danger to the community, as well as she's someone that has not proven herself to be a flight risk. So on these charges, I'd be requesting a, PR bond.
Is your client employed?
My client has actually been, she isn't sure because she was employed at Tim Hortons, but she has been in jail for the past 45 days. I believe she was sentenced to jail time for a 2013 driving while license is suspended by Judge McCain.
Livonia.
Yeah.
Huh. Because I know you, so Mr. Hardy characterized her criminal history as old, but I would say the bulk of it, the part that's relevant is the identity theft crimes from 2022. And it looks like in 2023, she received 2 years of probation, which started January 24 of 2023. So unless you were early discharged from probation, your probation would just be ending right about now. So did your probation get discharged?
Yeah, it got ended November 30th.
And I would say I just want to clarify. I was speaking to the assaultive crimes being old.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I will say it's not particularly easy to set bond because there are a number of charges. Most of them are life offenses. Ms. Jan has just been released from probation for similar alleged conduct. And I guess I'll say this is alleged conduct. That's actual conduct that she pled guilty to. Makes it difficult, but I understand these are not assaultive, and keeping her in jail isn't likely to make the community any safer. So bond will be set at $10,000 personal or cognizant, subject to the following conditions. Firstly, of course, Ms. Jan, you must attend your court dates. You received 2 court dates, and I understand you live a ways away. That first court date on January 17 may be done by video conferencing, but you got to practice to make sure you can do it because you can't miss your court date. If you can't do Zoom, don't know how to do Zoom, you don't have your device. Then you should come here in person. You shall not miss your court date. The other one is the January 24 is in person. So you're going to have to make sure that you make your way up here for January 24, because that's absolutely an in-person event.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do not leave the state without permission from the court. Do not commit crimes on bond. Notify the court in writing of any change of address or telephone number. It's actually a bond condition that you keep us up to date on your address and telephone number. You are to report to pretrial services the first business day after release. They keep track of people on felony bonds.
Yes, ma'am.
You do not use alcohol, marijuana, or illegal controlled substances.
Yes, ma'am.
Do not possess firearms or dangerous weapons. If you have those things, you need to give them to somebody else for safekeeping or give them to the police. But you cannot keep those while you're on bond. And then the very specific condition that is intended for this case and conduct is that you shall not use a computer device outside of employment or court. I put those on there of employment or court because I don't want there to be this mistake that you can't, use the point of sale terminal at Tim Hortons, and I want you to be able to Zoom for court. But I don't want you on the computer doing anything else because really I just need you to not be getting yourself in any trouble while you're on bond. So this computer will be used for your employment and for court, but nothing else.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. When you see Judge Simmons, if you need that change, you can talk to her about that. But right now I'm trying to draft a bond that I think will keep you from getting yourself more trouble. I mean, you just got off probation. You don't need to get yourself any more trouble at this point.
No way.
All right. We've talked about the charges, the court date, the bond, the conditions. Anything else that we need to talk about with Ms. Jan?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Jan, you're all set.
Thank you so much.
Those proceedings gave us plenty to chew on. The real highlight, though? The defense attorney's facial expressions. They captured it all: disbelief, exasperation, and secondhand embarrassment. With the $10,000 personal bond and strict conditions, the court sent a clear message. But it makes you wonder, what does it say about the system when repeat offenders face stakes this high? And how do cases like this spiral from small-time schemes to life-altering consequences? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gripping courtroom moments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.